everybody. We are back. It is Tape to Watch, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com, discount code 25% off. I got to change it on the thing on the Twitter. 25% off for all your needs at pandasubs.com. All right, so today we're doing some more draft stuff. I mean, we haven't gotten to the I would say free agency yet. I don't think we're gonna start doing that until.
I mean, yeah. The biggest thing is the franchise tag window did open, and I mean, I think we've got to address the elephant in the room. The 2-year dream of T Higgins coming to the Raiders for Marcus is now it's looking like it's over.
I mean, it's actually a longer dream than that. It's when I was watching Joe Burrow's film, his rookie year, 2020. That was T Higgins' rookie year, and then they drafted Jamar Chase, and I was like, oh, they're not gonna be able to sign both of them.
Well, I guess what I was talking about is more like when it could actually happen, right? Because this will be the second time that they've tagged him, and there was
Joe Burrow, man, he has sway over there. I mean, Joe's like, you better not let T Higgins go, or I'm gonna do something. You better sign both these guys, or I don't know.
All it took was Joe Burrow going on Pardon My Take once and breaking down how he can make it happen to force the Bengals' hand. It turns out that's all they needed to get Paul Brown to spend some damn money this whole time. It's just a popular podcast and a quarterback to say I'll take less money. I will take money up front to help you out, to help you pay my boy.
Yeah, man. Damn Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow. You're just so greedy over there, Joe. You're greedy. That's all I gotta say. You're a greedy guy. I get it, but you're greedy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really nothing else happened in Raiders world either. Is there? Nothing crazy? I don't think so.
Not a whole bunch. I mean, like I said, the franchise tag window opened today, Tuesday, and that's about it. I mean, obviously not that it's like one of those things. It's like, all right, this is the start of free agency because we get a little bit of traction, but nothing happens. These 2 weeks between the Super Bowl and the combine are like a dead period where you're fishing for stories at this point.
Do you think the Raiders tag somebody?
The one guy I think they could do, and it'd probably be more like the transition tag, would be Kuntz, because I think if you look at Kuntz's situation, what you probably want to do is sign him to a short-term deal, and they have the cap space, but it is 24 or almost 25 million for the franchise tag, and then I think 20 something for the transition tag. So I think he could be the one guy that they might end up tagging, because again, you're probably going to get him on a 1-year deal anyway. If you transition tag him, you can also see what the rest of the league views him as, or how they view him. Could he get another long-term contract with someone else? So I feel like he's the top candidate because of the situation, and I mean, you kind of want to see what he can do, but again, 20 million, is he going to get that on the open market? I don't know. The pass rushers are hard to come by, and they usually end up getting paid. The other guy would probably be Merrick, but I mean, Merrick's at 19 million. I love this.
I was looking at that. I was like, whoa.
But here's the thing: Budda Baker just signed for 18 million, so that's the benchmark.
Yeah.
To use the tag as just leverage to get, extend the negotiation period a little bit, or for a long-term contract.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, you're going to be Trevon Merrick's going to be making anywhere from 15 to 20 million a year next year. At minimum 15, I think at this point. McKinley signed for 16.5 last offseason a year. So
yeah, see, that's crazy. So why is the franchise? That's weird that it's so high then, because usually it's based on the average of what they're getting, but it's
I think it's because the cap keeps going up, and it's part of that. I don't know. Yeah, but a linebacker, I had to double check this. I had quadruple check. It's 27 million. That's got to be thrown off by guys that are linebackers, but are really edge defenders and pass rushers. 27 million. I don't get me love. I love me some Bobby Spillane, but I'm not paying him 27 million, even if it is for 1 year. I went into because I did some research on it for Silver and Black Pride today, and did an article. And I went into it thinking, oh, Spillane could be a guy that you tag because turns 30, played well, he's gonna get paid no matter what. But you obviously don't want to get a guy that's about to turn 30 on a long-term deal. But I'm at 27 million, Sorry, buddy. It was crazy too. It's like I looked it up. I'm like, there's got to be. It's like 27 million for the franchise tag, the exclusive,
Yeah.
and then 22 for the transition. I'm like, I wonder how much he's made in his career. He's made like 12 point something million. I'm like, dude, he could double his career earnings in 1 year.
He would sign that so fast.
Oh yeah,
so fast.
So yeah, why wouldn't he double his money? It's like I've been making practice squad and vet minimum money my entire career, and you're telling me I can make 20 something million? Sign me up.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is high. That has to be like TJ Watts and like who else?
But that's the thing that I don't get is like everywhere else, like the draft, we parse things out by like edge defender and like and linebacker. I don't understand why they can't do it for the salary cap. Like, and I feel like you're in the same spot too with like with Nate Hobbs. Like Nate Hobbs, you can franchise tag because you're worried about signing him to a long-term deal because of the injuries, but it's 20 something million because they lump all the corners together and those dudes are making, there's like 6-7 dudes making $20 million a year. It's like, all right, well, if you actually separate it out by nickel, he'd probably be closer to like 15, 12 million or something like that, I feel like. But again, you're not gonna tag that guy for 20 million for him. So
yeah, that is wild. That is some wild franchise tags. I'm looking at these, man. Like a lot of these guys are hitting the market because I don't know who you franchise tag for these prices. And then like even as a player, like getting labeled as a linebacker over a defensive end, that has to be very.
It used to be the opposite. You used to want to be lined up. Used to be wanted to lead labeled a DN. Like that doesn't make any sense. That still doesn't make any sense to me because Roquan Smith is the highest paid off-ball linebacker, 20 million a year. So like what? It makes zero sense to tag anyone for any team as a linebacker at linebacker if it's at 27 million. Somebody's got to have messed up it over the cap, like punch the wrong number in or something like that. Put an extra zero somewhere or something. I don't know. That's wild. But yeah, but other people of other sites I've seen have run with it. So I guess I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see for real. But yeah, that's 27 million. That's so wild,
crazy, bro. Crazy. I just want to see because what's website is this? Spilltrack has it at 25 for linebackers.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, their numbers are, I mean, they're close enough, but yeah, different or slightly off. But either way, that's still $5 million more a year for a year than the highest paid off-ball linebacker. It's got to be guys like Khalil Mack and TJ Watt getting lumped in the linebacker who aren't actual linebackers.
That's crazy. All right, yeah. All right, so the Raiders aren't going to tag anybody, obviously. Maybe Malcolm Koonce does he get labeled as a line. What's his position?
If you're Malcolm Koonce, you're like, I played a 2-point. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean,
give me my $7 million. Give me my extra $7 million.
I was drafted as a linebacker.
Yeah.
I was drafted as a linebacker. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah. Jimmy Graham situation.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That is crazy. Anyways, nothing really else happened in Raiders land. Dan Jeremiah did a mock draft. He had Shedeur Sanders at 6 again. That's a favorite. We'll see how that goes, but I'm already deep diving into. I'm trying to do all these running backs. I'm on Dylan Sampson right now. He's pretty damn good too. Yeah, there's a lot of good running backs in this draft. It's crazy, but yeah. I got to get to these other positions. There's just so many good ones. I'm just watching all of them. Like, what if I miss somebody that's like a, you know what I mean? So, but there's some good running backs in this draft. But Shedeur Sanders is at 6 for the Raiders. I mean, he said in his comments that like he doesn't think they're going to take him. He thinks they're going to go best player available, which I thought was super interesting.
I'm trying to think. Bucks, are they kind of? I feel like they were kind of like a need draft type of team in the first round. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Like last year they took Barton in the first round. I mean, Barton was worth a first round pick coming out and they needed a center badly. But I'm trying to like who's their first round pick the year before that? It was Cansey, right? Which they needed interior pass rush help. But again, he was one of those guys that was also getting some first round buzz. Was Joe Tryon Shriyanka, was he a first round pick or was he second?
Yeah, he was. He's first round.
He's first round pick.
They needed
So
edge.
yeah, I do feel like I feel like it's tough because it's like, yeah, I can sit there and be like, oh yeah, they needed those positions, but it was also like at those picks weren't like reaches. It wasn't like Alex Leatherwood. Sorry to bring that up. Type of picks where like it made sense for them to take those guys where they did. Granted, they were consistently picking in like the late teens, 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna take a tackle, you might as well take Tristan Wirfs. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's also true. They needed a tackle, and they ended up getting the first guy to be an All Pro at both tackle spots. So yeah, they do draft for need. That's the thing. Spytech did help draft for need, but he hit every single time.
Yeah, it's the right need. Let's say that he with the right need for sure. All right, let's get into the guys we're talking about today. So you're talking about is Tetairoa McMillan?
Yeah, we'll go to McMillan for today. I should
with McMillan from Arizona.
McMillan from T-Mac from Arizona.
Yeah, T-Mac from Arizona. So we see a lot of ugly uniforms today on the show.
I got the ASU clips in there. Don't you think I didn't?
We won that game, man. So I don't know what you. Yeah. ASU won that game. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, and I'm doing Kaleb Johnson out of Iowa because I just think this dude is super legit as well. And if the Raiders take a running back at 39, he is definitely an option at 39. And so I really like Kaleb Johnson as well. So we'll be going over those two guys. What are your thoughts on T-Mac?
So part of the reason why I brought up T. Higgins at the top was because I kind of think McMillan reminds me a lot of T. Higgins when he was coming out of Clemson, where I think a lot of their strengths and a lot of their weaknesses kind of line up with each other. Like if you remember coming out of Clemson, and still to this day, Higgins isn't like he's gotten better, but he's not like an elite separator. And I think that's probably if there is going to be a fatal flaw with McMillan, that's where his is. Like he's fast and like he's got some. It's weird. He's fast and I think he's got some quickness to him. But he's like, he plays with like one speed, if you know what I mean. Where like he doesn't really have that burst out of a cut. And I mean, he's 6'5" and 212 pounds, so you're not expecting a ton. But like there are a lot of clips that we'll see today where like he makes, a 90 degree, he's running a 90-degree route and he doesn't really create any separation. On the other end of that, he's really good in contested catches. He's got some strong hands catcher. And because he is 6'5", and I don't know what his arm length is, we'll find out at the combine, but he's got some T. Higgins long arms. So I can, just from what I can see on film, you can just throw it up to him and he'll come down with it. And he's also good at making catches through contact and stuff like that. The one thing that I was pretty surprised about in this game, he's really good after the catch.
Yeah.
Like, legit after the catch, like can do everything you want. Like he has a great feel for where the rushing lanes are or where the defense is. He can make guys miss. He's got a nice little stiff arm. He'll break tackles, got some contact balance. There were a few where I'm like, okay, this is something. This is pretty damn impressive for being 6'5", 212. He's you normally when you think of a yak guy, you think of the smaller, shorter and stout guys like a Deebo Samuel. But he can do it after the catch too. And then he does the little things like he does have some savviness to help create separation where can be a salesman. I think that's still kind of flushing out his part of his game, like more consistently, but like we'll see the things where he like kind of has like almost like veteran instincts kind of deal where he can like kind of find the holes in zone, sell routes with his shoulders and stuff like that. And do all kind of the little things right. And then on top of it too, like, it's just more of a football nerd thing for me. Like I love the way he comes back to the ball, which it's not, I realize it's not something that's sexy that a lot of people are going to get excited about, but like that is something that is big when you talk about the game. And like, he does that pretty damn well. So kind of the four things we're going over with him is his yak ability, his contested catches, the way he comes back to the ball, and a little bit of how he kind of makes up for his lack of explosion and with a little bit of savviness and a little bit of wiggle and stuff like that as a route runner.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his stats. He had 29 missed tackles for on the year, so it is about like three or four a game. It looks like for the most part. So yeah, you're right. I mean, he does have a lot of yak ability that I didn't even think about, and his contested catch is 60%.
Yeah. I think both those numbers for PFF. I think he was fourth, if I remember correctly, tied for fourth in the country, tied for third among wide receivers. Fannin had like 34, by the way, which is absurd. Wow. And then on the contested catches, I don't remember where he ranked, but he was up there again. I mean, 18 contested catches, and they threw up a lot of balls to him. So the 60% number is pretty impressive. I think the year before, if you have it up there, it was double digits. I think maybe in the teens too. Yeah. So like again, for a 6'5", 212 guy, that's kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah.
And again, the more impressive part of it is the strong hands to actually come down with it. To actually come down with the balls too.
Yeah. That dude is legit. He's legit. He's getting better too. So I'm looking at these stats. Like he went from 33% contested catch rate in his freshman year, and now he's at 60. You know, and then even the missed tackles went up. So he's getting better too. That's a highlight when you look at him. He's obviously he's still going up. So that's why I mean the Raiders would have to have a quarterback if they did this. I mean if they really feel like they have like Sam Darnold or something or even I don't want to say it. I'm not gonna say his name out loud, but even the other guy that's available that's really old. If they go that route, then maybe they go with McMillan. But it is an option there. Maybe it is a need. They need a number one arm receiver. And I know people got mad at Josh Jacobs said about Jordan Love, but I mean I said the same thing about Jordan Love too. Like there's no way this is gonna work, bro. You're gonna get to a spot where you need a guy to take over. Who are you gonna go with? You know what I mean? So it just makes your passing game even more explosive when you have a number one tight end too as well. I mean, most of those teams have both of those when they have those type of guys. So you don't want to be fully dependent on your tight end. Is basically what I'm saying. You on mute, bro?
There we go. Sorry, new mic challenges, technical difficulties here. Yeah, no, I think it is a need. The one thing I am is I do wonder, like, I don't know if I'm as high on him as the sixth with the sixth pick. I do think he kind of gets a boost in this year's wide receiver class over it is down. Where I think in a normal year he probably wouldn't be. He'd probably be me more of like a mid-teens to 20s pick. I think Daniel Jeremiah actually had him at 19, maybe to Tampa Bay. I don't know who has that pick, but I think I'm pretty sure it was like 19 in his mock draft. So being interesting to see where he ends up going, because I do worry about the separation, but tell you what, man, there's a lot of things he could do well where I think you can kind of look past that and I could understand it if they did want to go after him. I just wonder what they would be able to do as far as like trading back and how far they could go if the league isn't quite as high on him.
Yeah. All right, dude. So that's McMillan, and then we got Kaleb Johnson from Iowa. Kaleb Johnson is what I would say just smooth runner. Like it is just everything he does is smooth. It just looks effortless. Like when he's running and he's moving and he's being elusive in the open field, everything just looks like he's not even trying. But he's very fast, right? And he's a pretty big guy. I forgot. I think he's over 210 pounds, but he just has a lot of ability to make you miss an open field. He can hit the home run. The only thing that I would say that you really don't see from him too much is catching the football. I only had 22 catches on a year, so I didn't see any on film. I was like trying to find something. I couldn't see it. But he doesn't. They really didn't pass the ball to him, but he blocks really well too. When he does get that chance to block, he does really well. But yeah, he is explosive. And to me, like I think he's closer to Marion Hampton than people give him credit for, in my opinion. Just because I think he is definitely a system fit. I think he's more of a zone back, but he does run well, and when he does run power, but he's fast, he's smooth, and there's the only question I have with him is can he catch the football consistently? Because they didn't throw the ball to him, so I don't know. I mean, that's something he's got to show at the combine, show those hands that he really has, and be able to catch the football in those running back drills. But I just don't know. Basically, I can't comment. I can't say he can't catch. You can't use him as a receiver. I can't say those things because he wasn't used that way. So maybe he can be. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. So this could just more of an if with Kaleb Johnson. Like if he was out there running routes like Hampton was, I think that it would be really close with him and Hampton. But you just have that question, like, can you catch the football? I don't know, but he can run the football. Let's say that. I know that for sure. So that's the question mark and why he might fall a little bit, because you just don't have that on film, and you're really in today's NFL, you need a guy who could, catch the football at the running back position for most teams, especially with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly needs that type of guy, especially in the NFL. He's going to need it. So I think that when you have that question mark there, you're going to have to kind of step back a little bit and maybe he falls a little bit. I don't know. That's why he could be in the third round. He could be just because of that, what I'm talking about. But if he has a great combine and he's just catching everything, that'd be perfect. But if he like has a couple drops, then he's gonna fall. It really, because it's not on film. You don't know. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's always interesting with those type of guys because it's like I don't know. It's like it's an unknown. It's like I don't know if you can do it, but you just weren't ever asked to do it. So it's always a bit of a gamble. But I always love it when you do running backs though, because I'll be honest, like I don't really know much about these running backs at all in this draft class. I haven't really paid much attention to the position yet. I know it's a need, but figured you got it covered and can't do everything. So yeah, I'm excited because I haven't seen much Kaleb Johnson. I don't get many. I haven't taken a peek at many Iowa games this year, so be interested to see what he can bring.
Yeah, I'll just say this before we get the film. Dude, if he falls to Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey might get traded. Let's just say that. I mean, he might. Right. As well. I mean, it would be that type of back coming into his zone system. Like this dude is a great zone runner. So if he went to Shanahan, we would be in trouble. Shanahan would at least have another 5 years of Brock Purdy being pretty decent. All right, so let's get into McMillan, man. Let's check out McMillan first. See what he's got.
All right, so I'm gonna start off here with the yak from McMillan. One of the common themes that you're gonna see is like right here. This is one of the biggest things that really kind of stood out to me is he has a great feel for where defenders are. Like he's gonna run this route here. I mean, route obviously isn't much to speak of. Kind of just a little timing route where they're clearing it out for him, and then kind of set this up for him to get the yak. But what I love about his game is like even with this back turn, like you can see like right here, he kind of takes that little peek to see where this defender is and kind of feels him coming towards midfield, and then just kind of puts the brakes on and comes back to the sideline. And then again, this is what I'm talking about with his ability to make guys miss. Breaks the angle there. You can see a little bit of speed, makes that guy miss too. Again, this is part of what I think makes him really great is he can kind of do it all. Even though he is bigger, he has, like Marcus said, those 29 missed tackles forced in this past year. Again, got a few of them on that one. And on top of it too, does have some pretty good strength, as you can imagine. Obviously not as sexy of a play as we just saw, but I mean, he catches a 5-yard curl, gives a stiff arm here, right at about the 25, and ends up finishing at the 19-yard line. So we're getting 6 yards with the stiff arm, and trust me, we'll see plenty of these examples too. Can't see it here from the end zone. This is where those long arms come into play too. When you're going up against DBs who have a little bit shorter ones and whatnot, get some extension on those stiff arms. That was actually one of the better routes he ended up running on that dig. But again, like you can see the same thing. Break the tackle there, spin out of that one, make that guy miss. Oh no, he didn't quite make that guy miss, but you can see it again. Just the contact balance. I mean, be able to stay on his feet and keep tacking on extra yards. So that didn't get a ton of yak, but I mean, we're forcing 2 tackles to add another 5 yards or so. Again, making this guy not quite miss, but throwing off his angle and throwing off that tackle to be able to tack on a couple extra yards up there too. Kind of unique shiftiness for a big dude. Again, now this one too, I'm gonna back this up. Like you can kind of see what I'm talking about, where like he's not a great separator, like he's gonna run a dig, and this is where I can compare him to T. Higgins because this is how T. Higgins used to run routes at Clemson, where he kind of like round into this cut, and that allows especially a corner who's sitting on it, kind of stay in his hip. Now he does do a good job of staying flat, I think, to help create some separation, but it's just not like he's just not a sharp or fluid or crisp route runner. But what he is good at, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning, feel that defender. This time we're working back to the outside and finding the lane. Again, maybe caught that at what? 40, call it. And then take it to the other 40, adding an extra 20 yards. So again, just has a great feel for where guys are and for where the rushing lane is. All right, which one we got here? Here you go. We got your Sun Devils on this one. This was the blowout though. But this where I mean, that was a man amongst boys. Again, only adding 5 yards here, but we got a guy on our back. We make the catch, run through that tackle, run through this one, a little stiff arm again here, put that guy in the ground. I think that guy missed twice on this play. Yeah, that was the original guy. So he gets 2 missed tackles on that one. Again, what a 5-yard catch with at one point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders near him.
Yeah.
Ends up being a first down. Yeah. Pretty unique for a wideout for sure. Just the contact balance and the ability to stay upright.
Yeah, he's just a monster. That wasn't the best route in the world, and he had the most separation, but I mean,
for sure. All right, this gets into a little bit of the contested catches. Again, not the greatest route where this is what I'm talking about, where he's not going to create a ton of separation. Like here on the curl, like you can kind of see what I'm talking about, where like, I mean, he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to get out of there. But again, this is part of what I was talking about earlier, and we'll see more of this. 1, works back to the ball. And this is where it makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, the strong hands to make the catch through contact and make those contested catches. Like, again, not only does he have the size to be able to do it, but he has the hands to bring the ball in and then make the catch through contact. We'll see an even better example coming up here in a second. Yeah, you're lucky the Arizona State won this game. Because I'll tell you what, there was the quarterback, I don't even remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
He had some missed throws in this one that were frustrating. We'll see one later.
Yeah.
But again, same thing, like rounded cut here on the route, but just throw it up to him, especially when he's got, a size advantage, which even in the NFL he'll have against most corners at 6'5". Just throw it up to him, let him use those long arms, and he can come down with the ball pretty frequently.
Yeah, he came back to the ball on that one too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's I think that's what I'm talking about. Where like I feel like he knows how he's built, because he can do things where he makes up for his lack of separation. That is impressive. But yeah, like you'll see here, like part about this goes up and high points it. Doesn't let the ball come down to him. It's like going up for a rebound, right? You want to keep the ball high when you're a big guy, where only you can get it. Same kind of philosophy. I mean, again, route's not great, but the strong hands, and we'll take a little contact here. I like also how he kind of protects himself here, braces forward a little bit, and I mean, the corner ends up taking the brunt of that hit. And looked like might have even been hurt on that one. But again, strong hands. And keeps holding on to the ball. Yeah, let's see. He hit his own guy there in the head. Yep. This time, a little bracket coverage from Texas A&M, or Texas Tech, excuse me. All right, this one was the one I was referring to earlier. All right. And this was part of my issue with the quarterback play at Arizona, because this should be an easy catch, right?
Yeah, he should already have the ball.
He is wide ass open in the middle of the field. I don't know why he doesn't get it, but hey, we eventually find him, and then we're just going to make you earn it a little bit. Throw a hospital pass for you that he's going to come down with.
How do you not see it? He's just bouncing around.
How do you not see your number one receiver running wide open in the middle of the field? I don't know.
At 6'5"?
But hey, we got the highlight out of it. All right, this is a little bit what I'm talking about him coming back to the ball again. And what I like too, especially on this one, with the zone coverage that Texas Tech is playing here, he kind of sees this guy float. So instead of just coming literally straight down, he adjusts a little bit by bending it in at like a 45-degree angle, and makes the catch. And again, kind of finds the optimal rushing lane, even though he doesn't break tackles there, to still tack on the extra yards. Although I will say on this one, and we'll see it better on this angle, got to hold on to the ball.
Oh, you fumble.
Oh, yeah. He is a little loose with it. I don't know if you noticed on one of them when he made the cut, he kind of had the Mike Vick hold it like a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he will get a little loose. This one against Colorado here. This was actually a decent route, I thought, for a whip route from, again, a bigger dude. Just create some separation. And then here on the scramble drill, even on that, come back to the ball. This is where I'm talking about, where he knows, he's like, hey, I'm not a great separator. And he actually does. This is probably one of the better separations he'll get. like on the scramble drill because he got the DB's hips to open, but then he makes it even better by working back to the ball. So now it was 2 yards of separation. Now we're at 7, and that's what I'm talking about. Where like the little things that he does that helps make up for some of his flaws, and it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but he does that right to help increase that separation and make the quarterback's life a little bit easier. Same kind of thing here. This one's more subtle, but this like was a good example of how that can help too, because by working back to the ball, like he prevents this corner here from being able to play it through his back. Yeah. And on top of it, when you're throwing as a quarterback, you can just miss lower. You don't have to make a perfect throw, like when the pocket's collapsing here. So you kind of help your quarterback out a little bit too. At the same time, using your body as a weapon to box out the corner and be able to make the play. This will be some of the savviness. A little double move here. Roast this corner. Roast this ASU corner. I think this made it 28-7 at this point.
Yeah.
But what I liked about this route is like it could be a little bit better. I'd like to see him get those shoulders pointed towards the sideline a little bit more. But he does enough to help sell the out and then watch what the corner does. Bites on it. And at that point, with his speed, he's toast. Easy 6. Even that quarterback's not missing that throw. See a similar one here. He's going to run like a little corner to comeback route, corner to comeback route. And what I like about this one too is like he gets on the corner's toes, and then he's going to sell the corner route. Or first of all, he gets on the guy's toes and he gets him turning open. Right, like we got the corner's hips basically pointed towards the other end zone. And then he's going to break it out towards the corner and get in the corner's get in the cornerback's blind spot here. And then on the comeback route, now we're creating separation, not necessarily with our change of direction and our short area quickness, but because we've gotten to a spot where we've gotten this corner all twisted around. But as you can see, that throw was not on target. Get a good view of it here. I mean, you can see again how much separation he got, and part of the reason why I included this one is just so you could see how uncatchable that throw was. The fact he got a hand on it was nice.
Wow.
Now this one is part of it's the play design, but what I like about part of McMillan's game is when he passes guys, like you're going to see him get a little physicality in zone coverage here against this underneath defender. Is he does a great job of getting back on his stem initially, right? He gets back on the hash. And then on top of this too, he kind of pushes vertical for a couple steps. And what that does is keep the safety high so that when they do run this little scissors pattern, the safety can't just like cheat and come underneath it. He's got to go around and ends up creating some separation for another overthrow.
Good Lord.
Oh yeah, dude, it was a lot. It was getting frustrating to watch.
Okay, it is. All right.
And that's like his boy too. I think
they're homies.
Yeah, and he did not. I don't know. Not sure if they're still friends, but this time, obviously the route's not much. Kind of a lazy route, honestly, more than anything. But what I do like about it is he recognizes where the soft spot in the zone is, and on top of it, sees this guy coming downhill for some reason. So he just attacks it and sits in it. Go pick up the first down. Nothing too sexy on that one, but again, little subtle things that he does that show some smarts and a little bit of savviness as a wide receiver, some veteran skills, if you will.
Wow. Okay. I mean, the quarterback was bad, but like I like the T. Higgins comp because that's what I saw when I was watching that. Because that's how T. Higgins plays. It's like he's not really the cleanest route runner in the world. He's kind of stiff getting in and out of his breaks a little bit, but he also come back to football. He catches everything with his hands. He has great hands. But I think the yak is what is super interesting with him. If you can get the ball with him in open space and he can make some guys miss like that, and the 29 missed tackles that he had this year, I think that's a big deal for a guy that's that size. That's what can make him dominant. in my opinion. Like that can create the dominance part of him, especially if he gets more savvy as a route runner, which, like I said, he's getting better every year, just looking at his stats and the things he's doing. So if he can get better as a route runner, and that could continue to develop, yeah, he does have some dominant potential. Just the yak. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, because a lot of wide receivers that we could consider the best wide receivers in the league, I mean, they have yak ability too. It's a big part of their game. And Jamar Chase can take a slant and turn it into 6. You know what I mean? And that's the type of thing you want from your big time wide receiver. So
yeah, and again, doing what he does at 6'5" and 215, like that's pretty rare. And I think that's where, if you're comparing them as prospects, not saying that he'd go in and be better than T. Higgins, but I think that's where he kind of has the edge over a guy like T. Higgins. I don't think Higgins was necessarily bad after the catch. I don't quite remember him standing out nearly like that. Like we saw from McMillan. And I think that's where you get a little bit of the difference in their draft projection, because Higgins was a second rounder. I think the first pick of the second round, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Whereas McMillan, obviously, we're talking about being a first round guy, and for a lot of people, a top 10 guy. But I think that's the biggest difference between those two, is where McMillan might have the advantages is he can be dirty with the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That was that was what stood out to me, because that's a big difference, especially when you're that size, right? I mean, that size, I don't expect you to have been, because if you're that size and you have been, you're Calvin Johnson. So I don't expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
You're Calvin Johnson. That's who you are if you're that big and you could bend, and that's a different animal. So I don't expect that from that type of guy. So, but the yak is super cool to see. So that's yeah. I mean, he probably will go top 10, because he's gonna get pushed up just because some of these wide receivers.
The draft class, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what wide receiver you take over him at this point. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into Johnson. So we're gonna start off with his zone runs first. All right, so we're gonna go over what he can do in the zone game. So we start off with a little split zone here. So what I like about this one, of course, you get the tight end coming across here. Tight end doesn't block anybody, right? What I like about this one is just the jump cut, okay? Because the hole opens up late over here. So I'll bring it back a little bit. So you stop right there. You see he's trying to play up here through the zone concept, a little split inside zone, but he sees the lane open up there, and he just jumps cups right to it, and then gets some yards there. So it's just like it's just smooth. Everything is smooth with Kaleb Johnson. It's like an effortless jump cut. It's just to me, it's just so easy right there. All right, next one here. Little outside zone on this one. So what I like about him in outside zone is like he saw the cutback opening before he even made a decision. So like you get to right here, like you can see his eyes already eyeing the cutback. You see and then you can see his head just kind of go right to it. He didn't even try to kind of come upfield here. He knew the cutback was going to be open. Basically, by the time he got the football, and he's able to get back to that cutback and make some guys miss an open field and get some big yards. So this is what I'm talking about, him being a great zone back. And he's doing the little Ashton Genty thing there.
Yeah, cool. I've seen a bunch of guys been doing that lately, even like in the pros after someone pointed it out. Like Gibbs does that.
Yeah. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest.
I think you can see better because Genty's only 5'9".
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what Kaleb Johnson is, but
he's listed 6 foot 225.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that big, but that's what he's listed at. All right. Here is another. I think this one's a little it's like kind of mid zone on this one. That's why this 67 he comes blocking that who is a linebacker, but it's a defensive end there. But you see here too on this one how he kind of sees that cutback right away, right? He doesn't even try to force it. I mean, we're watching, Zamir White. He's trying to force it there, or something like that. He comes right to the open lane. But now, Zero does a good job here reading this linebacker right here. Does a good job at seeing that, right? Because he's going with the flow, but he sees he's going to make that cutback. He's right there. You're like, okay, Zero's going to make that tackle. Oh, nope, he's going to break that tackle and get about 30 yards there.
That was nice.
Right? So he does a good job reading it, right? But, like I said, there's good linebackers everywhere. So the linebacker does a good job of not committing too much and kind of just, having some gap integrity there. But it didn't matter. Did not matter there. All right, here's another one. This is late in the game, so it is the Ohio State backups in here, but he gets a touchdown on this one. It's another little split inside zone. So right here, it's just the patience that he has that I really like here. So you come back with the ball here. And that hole opens up right there. You see this hole open up right there? Let me back a little bit. The hole opens up right there. And it's the patience that he had to wait for this to happen, right? Allow these blocks to develop. Then he gets through it, and then he just runs past everybody for a touchdown. It's just, like I said, it's just smooth. It's like he took like 5 steps. It's just, it's just smooth speed. Long strider. Probably ran some track or something. Because he's tall too. He's like I said, he's 6 foot. So that's why I say he's a definitely a high level running back prospect in my opinion. All right, so here's some outside zone, and this one is not blocked well by Iowa. Which one thing I want to point out, I don't think Iowa's offensive line is the greatest in the world. You see 97, he's busting through. They're not able to land any of these reach blocks here. 17 is busting through. This tight end is not holding number 20 there, but it just doesn't matter. And he makes the right read here. So if you go here, right? I mean, there's nothing there. The outside zone, you can, cut back or you can bounce, right? And he knows exactly where to go. He's like, I got to bounce this, right? I can't just take 17 on right here, which I just can't run into 17 to hope I get something. Let me try to bounce this, right? So he bounces it, and then he keeps his balance here, which I really like. So he almost falls. He keeps his balance, and that kind of makes number 4 slip there, right? And then he just takes it to the end zone for a touchdown. So that was nothing there, literally. There's nothing there on this play. There's not a single guy that's blocked well. You see the defensive players are just reaching for him. He's able to just have that balance and then kind of even make break number 4's ankles while he's falling. So it's impressive, man. He can run the damn football. All right, so go ahead. What did you say, Matt?
I was just gonna say he's like one of those guys that like doesn't look like he's running fast, but he's running fast.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's running away from people.
All right, so here is some more outside zone here, and I love this run because what you're gonna see here is what he does to this linebacker here. So let me pause it right here, right? See how he has his eyes on this linebacker, kind of just freezes him a little bit. He takes a couple steps this way, right? And you see this guy going back this way, and then he's able to make a guy miss right there, and then have a big play there. So, like I said, just a little step there allows 65 to get up to him, and then he's able to make that guy miss right here. He's off.
Damn.
Yeah, he can run the damn football, bro. Like it is pretty special. Just watch this over time. You kind of see it full speed because you can kind of see the little stutter step even full speed, like boom, boom. It's all smooth, like just how quick that is. It's great stuff there. All right, so next one here, outside zone again. So this one, he just takes it straight up and then makes the guy miss in open field. So, I mean, like I said, he always makes the right decision in outside zone too. Always makes the right decision there.
Set that up well too. Push the line.
Yeah. And then get outside here. Makes a play. So he just He runs the ball just so damn well. Like, it is consistent how well he runs the football. All right, next one. So this one's crazy because this could be a split zone run here, I believe. Yeah, so you're getting like a split zone look from this tight end here, or it's probably a tight end. This is Iowa. So I mean, guess number 8's tight end there. It's 12 personnel. He actually runs into the guy, which is kind of funny. But what is crazy about this run is you're kind of going to see him kind of read this. He's going to see that, there's really nothing there because this guy, number 17, is going to cross face here. So you watch him kind of cross right there. He sees nothing's there. So I'm going to come backside here. I'm going to set up this block with number 8, number 20. He has a great block there. He kind of gets bounced, but it was enough for him to get around. It's court touchdown. So this is split zone, and he goes all the way back outside here.
He almost turned split zone into counter with the quarterback out there too.
You know what I mean?
Just on his own, freelance a little bit.
It's just crazy. And he had 200 yards. He had 198 yards against Minnesota, so he ran all over them. He just made it look easy. So here's another one here. All right, little mid zone, and like I said, if where he's supposed to go in the zone concept, if it's there, he's taking it. It's like there's no hesitation there. There he goes. And like I said, if he had more room, he's beating this guy to the corner because you can even see it. Like he's starting to take the lead on him when he's like,
Yeah.
There's just not enough there's not enough room there left over for him. So you just see the speed, man. It's just long strides. He's just outrunning people, but like it's the vision too. He's just such a great runner of the football. As I said, I'm not gonna have you filming him catching the ball. So that's the trick here. All right, so here is a him running counter though. Like I said, they didn't run much power at Iowa, but here he is running counter on this one. So he, like I said, he does a good job of setting up blocks here. So you're gonna see him allow the blocks to develop. You allow the tight end there to kind of come right here, get 45. But number 9 does a good job of kind of just following counter. Does a good job there of getting in the hole here. And like 92, 12, and 9, you're thinking this play is dead right here. Yeah. This is a dead play, right? This is dead. It's not. He's just gonna break those tackles, and then like he just I guess these two guys run into each other, and then he breaks those tackles. He allows 5 to come back in here and get those blocks. This guy can't arm tackle him, right? And then this is him at number 4. He just runs past those guys. Touchdown. So it's like I said, this dude can run the ball. Like I said, it's closer to Hampton than people give it credit for. Like it's a lot closer in my opinion. And here's some more counter on this one. And like I said, is his ability to weave through traffic here. Some more counter. I mean, it looks like a little bit like trap. That was that long trap kind of. He's kind of.
Right? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, because whatever.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. But but you can just see him kind of read this really well, right? He sees 48 coming to the hole. You kind of can see what he does. Watch what he does in number 20 here. Gets him to come this way, come into that gap, but then he cuts it back into this one, and he gets some yards there. So, I mean, this is all happening so fast. And it's about, I mean, you see a lot of these running backs doing this more and more these days, but these top guys do it so well. I mean, he really gets that guy to commit because if he just runs straight ahead, right? I mean, maybe that block gets there, but maybe that guy just comes around the block and makes a tackle on him. He sets it up, boom, gets him to come this way. He comes back inside. All right, here's another counter run here. On this one, and like I said, just sees the hole so quick, and he's able to just burst right through it. So he finds it, boom. Consistent. It's just so smooth, man, every single time. And as a blocker, like I said, he can block too. That's why I'm so interested in him as a catching the football and even running routes, because you just watch him run, you're like, that guy could probably run routes, right?
Yeah.
but he could block too. This is a great block here, picking up this blitz. Of course, 67 gets his butt kicked there, but you could kind of see he ties up the two blitzers there by taking him out. And that kind of takes 24 out a little bit. I mean, had a little bit more time. 24 is falling out. So it was a good job of him picking that up and seeing it. Watch one more time.
He did a better job recognizing the stunt than the tackle did.
I know. The tackle's going to be a great doctor. All right. And here's another one. Him picking up another one here. And what I like about this one is him navigating, right? Because he stays here, seeing where everything's happening, right? He sees that guy coming. He's able to navigate it, find it, make sure that he waits long enough that he's just not coming back or anything before he commits, so he doesn't miss anything over here, and he comes right over there, picks him up pretty well. So yeah, man, there is a lot to like about Kaleb Johnson. I think he's just very smooth running the football. And it's just the question is, can he run routes? Can he catch the football? But the way he moves, you imagine he could run routes. That's what I'm saying. But like as a runner of the football, man, he is just a natural. I mean, that's what I say that all the time when guys have that natural ability just to run the football. But man, it is innate in Kaleb Johnson. He can just move so well, finds things, and especially in zone. And that's the thing. Like Chip Kelly, he'll adjust to whatever the running back does. And if they draft Kaleb Johnson, the Raiders will be a outside zone, split zone football team. And it'll be one of the smartest things they do, and mixing some power in there just to keep teams off balance. But man, that dude can run the ball. He can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't underestimating how smooth he is. That was one of the first things that stood out, just how well he glides throughout the field. The other thing that I think I'm making up a term here, but his like phone booth ability, like where he can just like make guys miss, like the few of those runs that you were showing, whether it's like just putting his shoulder down and running through tackles, or like literally just being shifty and being able to move in the phone booth. That was like super impressive to me. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand why he's not getting more buzz. Maybe it's because of the passing game and whatnot, and we place a lot of emphasis on that nowadays. But tell you what, you're right, if he at the combine, if he shows out and shows some route running ability and some hands, we can start hearing more about him. The one thing I was curious about, like I think you talked about it a little bit, like what's his change of direction like? Because that was the one thing I felt like on a few of his runs when he was going towards the sideline, it didn't seem like he had that ability to put his foot in the ground and get upfield.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting when you bring that up, because I mean, you don't see a lot of that change of direction type of things from him, like kind of trying to make especially on those long runs, right? You kind of just saw him just run out of bounds, right? Like it wasn't like somebody kind of just make that wiggle in the open field. So you kind of can't point that out as a little bit maybe some stiffness there when it comes to him, because like I said, he's such a long strider that when you have that long stride like that, it's like more like a track running style. I would say like more upright, maybe is the word, kind of upright runner, right? It's hard to have that kind of shiftiness to you where you're not staying as low as you can, and you're not running at a lower level. So yeah, he kind of has that Raheem Mostert type of thing to him a little bit, but I think there's still more elusiveness there, like you said, in the phone booth and him setting up stuff, that it looks pretty well. So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like more of the issue was, I guess, less of his change direction and more of his ability to like cut when he's at full speed. You know what I mean? You showed plenty of like clips where he was like able to make guys, like I was talking about, make guys miss and use his change direction in that. But when he gets to top speed and like he starts running towards the sideline, like I noticed that too. It's like, man, I feel like you're leaving a little beat on the bones where you could just put your foot in the ground and maybe not score, but like that one to the sideline where he just kind of ran out, like that was the one that I noticed the most, where I'm like, man, I feel like you might have had a touchdown or maybe could tack on like an extra like 10 yards or so with how big he is, if he could just put his outside foot and get up the field instead of keep continuing to veer towards the sideline when even when nobody was there. So yeah, maybe the one thing he can work on as a runner. But other than that, man, that was some pretty clean tape.
Yeah, it is. It's clean, man. It's clean. But like I said, if his draft stock is based on the combine and how he catches the football. I mean, if he just has some drops, then he's he could be there in the third for the Raiders. If he doesn't, if he has a good day catching the football, then he is an option at 39. I mean, that's going to be the play on him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Almost hope he has a few drops. So it's like, man, maybe if you could get him in the third and just get the maybe somehow they can re-sign like Amir Abdullah or something to take care of the third down duties and work with them on it or something. Or I don't know. Dylan Lobby finally like puts it all together. So I don't know. I mean,
Something. Yeah.
That's probably wishful thinking on the latter, but yeah, that'd be a damn good get if he does end up sliding that far. If he kind of stays as this hidden gem. So we'll see. We'll see next week.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so we're gonna be, keep going, doing these draft guys until we get to past the combine, basically. So just be on the lookout for that. We're doing some more draft stuff. Of course, I got Jackson Dart versus Kentucky up for members, so if you want to go check that out. I got that game going in there. If you're a Jackson Dart fan, you might be mad. Like, why'd you pick Kentucky? Because it was already cut up for me. I just didn't feel like cutting it up myself out of the 45 minutes of gameplay. So you just gotta take the cut up. But yeah, so go ahead, check that out. And and like I said, the draft stuff we're doing, guys, it is there for the whole process. So if you're first time here and you want to check us out, just be warning, we do stop a lot. I just saw that in the comments. Somebody told us that why do we stop the tape? We do stop a lot, so just a warning. But just it's fun breakdown.
Sorry, I like to explain things and go back over it. My bad.
Yeah, it is. It's not a big deal. But yeah, if you go and check those out, Cam Wars, whatever you like, we got a draft breakdown for it. So go ahead, check those out. And that's the show, guys. We're out of here. Peace.